No child should come out of a sleepover looking like this. One of them filmed and shouted instructions while the others tortured her. How she managed to survive is insane. It was March 2023 in Queensland, Australia. Kira Hart was a sweet 14-year-old girl from the area, and like other teenage girls, she just wanted to be liked and accepted. Sadly though, the girls that befriended her were pure evil. Now these were 3 girls between the ages of just 12 and 14. Chloe Denman was the youngest, and then there was sisters Shania and Renisha Gresh. Like I said, Kira really was a very sweet girl. She always saw the best in people, but these girls had an absolute night of horror lined up for her. Now these 3 girls did seem like bad news. They were constantly posting stuff online that was honestly just so inappropriate. The one girl was like posting a video at one point claiming she was HIGH, and they were always just like posting in ridiculously revealing outfits. Now for some reason these girls were left home alone on the night of this sleepover, so honestly they just had free reign to do whatever the hell they wanted. I am stunned that Kira survived. Now we know a lot of the sick and twisted details of this evening because the girls decided to film it. As soon as Kira stepped through the door, she was tied up with a phone cable. They started kicking her, punching her, stabbing her with sharp items. And one of them at one point was like filming and shouting instructions, and the others were just obliging and torturing this young girl. They were supposed to be her friends and they were unleashing absolute hell. They were laughing at her, calling her ugly, shouting the C word at her. Honestly, I've never heard young girls be so aggressive in my life. She was begging, she was saying, "I'll do anything, please just stop." One held a knife to her throat and said, "Don't think I won't." This hell went on for over 4 hours. 4 hours of sheer terror. Kira was convinced that they were going to kill her, and I can totally see why. She knew she just needed to stay alive. She was like, oh my god, I've got a little 3-year-old brother. I want to get home to see him, and my mum. Now this whole case is sickening, obviously, but something that makes it even more chilling to me is how funny these young girls found this. One even posted the sick video online, and when it started to get thousands and thousands of views, she wrote, "Going viral, thanks guys, love ya." But before they let her go, they threatened her, "If you tell anybody that this was us that did this to you, we know where you live and we know you have a mum and a little brother." But it doesn't make sense to me because they were bragging online that they'd done this. One even posted online that 4 hours attacking Kira was funny as F. When Kira finally made it home and showed up at her doorstep, her mum didn't even recognize her. Her face was so swollen and beaten up, it took a while for her mum to register this was Kira. She had a broken nose, a broken jaw, and her eyes were so swollen she could barely see. Now initially she lied to her mum for her own safety. She was panicking and she said she'd just merely been attacked on her way to the sleepover, but after she was rushed to hospital the truth came out. And the news was reporting on this immediately, but they were keeping the young girls' names anonymous. Locals were enraged by this. Loads of people were saying if you're adult enough to make adult decisions like torturing somebody nearly to death, you're adult enough to take the consequences. They were like, we don't care, we're going to post the names online. Kira had emergency surgery and thankfully did survive. Just, oh my god, the most brave girl ever. It's confusing online to the actual facts of the case of whether the girls spent any time behind bars at all for this sickening crime. Some reports do say that 2 of the girls were arrested, but I can't find anything for sure. And shockingly, this wasn't the first violent attack that one of them had been involved in. Just days before, it's reported that Renisha got into a vicious altercation on a school bus. But locals weren't going to let this lie. They were like, we're going to take matters into our own hands. They actually showed up to the house where the sleepover took place and burnt it to the ground. Now, I totally get wanting to hold these girls accountable for the sick things that they did, but apparently the house was rented accommodation anyway, so I just kind of feel bad for the landlord.